Hey everybody, we're out here fishing on the Skookumchuck River today. It's early April and it's gorgeous weather. We got temperatures in the 60s, sunny skies. Nate?
I think
Steelhead.
Yeah, steelhead. We're out here looking at the Skookumchuck River. It's got a late run of steelhead. Some people call it a bee run, but they really don't show up until late February. Last week of February is when it gets hot. So right now we're fishing the lower section of the river. We've got a big long access up here at the Skookumchuck Wildlife Preserve, probably about 2.5 miles of river that you can walk.
It's been yeah, great trails. If you really want to get out and kind of get isolated, this is a wonderful place to go. Lots of little holes and spots you can fish.
Today the water's way down. I mean, the visibility is only about 2 feet, but don't be surprised if you come and it's like 6 inches and it's pushing mud. But the cool thing about this river is even when it's high like that, you can still catch fish. When it's a black dot on the USGS, you'll be able to catch fish when it's that high. So,
all right. Well, as you know from the fishing reports this year, it's been red hot out here, so we're going to hit some spots and eventually we'll end up back at the terminal fishery and watch the crazy crowd fishing there. So let's go fishing.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to rig a sand shrimp today because the conditions are perfect for fishing sand shrimp under a float today. So, what we've got here is a little sand shrimp and just a leader underneath the float with the weight, and most of the time you just pinch off the tail and put it on your hook like this. And you slide it up with the pinched off end first so that it slides right through real easy. And then you make sure you get it in on this last little tough section at the end of the tail, because that's what holds it on to the hook. And you slide it in nice and gentle on this hook. And it just slides right on and stick it on the line. And what I like to do is put one of the little power eggs, just one of those trout things, or a fish pill, or something gooey, maybe one of those easy eggs, put it on the hook, slide it through, and put it right there. And so it ends up as a bumper.
With float fishing, one of the things that's really important is to use braided line rather than monofilament. And the reason being is that braided line will float on the surface of the water. So you do need to mend your line, but at the same time, it's not going to drag that float under and cause your presentation to look unnatural. So braided line is the way to go with float fishing. So I've been using Nate's instructions on how to rig a sand shrimp, and I've got a little fish pill on the end of my jig, and I'll tell you what, I've cast about 7-8 casts and it's on there nice and solid, so good technique to know.
nice feisty hen. She's not that bad. She's nice and she's got a little bit of color, but only one punch, so.
So one punch meaning that's a recycled fish.
Yeah, they get recycled, and every time they get recycled, they get a punch in their gill.
Wait, let's do it. Let me get in there close, Nate, and show people what that is.
Yeah, it's got this punch right there.
Yeah.
Which means that it's gone up to the hatchery once, and they punch it, and then they put it back down in the river, and she's only got one punch, so she's only a one-time recycle.
Very cool. And you caught that on a corky?
Corky and sand shrimp.
All right.
Just like I showed you earlier in that little video.
So I hooked one earlier, lost it, and I've hooked another one. Nate's suggestion, I've been throwing plugs at the tail out, and this guy has got mold on his head, so I don't know what he's going to look like when we get him out. But he's a good sized fish. Take a look at that. Yeah. Oh my God, that is one ugly fish.
It is a monster.
That is one ugly fish. But he's good for the smoker.
Right on. It's definitely a smoker. It'll be interesting to get him in because we don't got a net.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bring him around all the way around the rock.
Yeah, bring him around to the tail out.
And he fought like a fish with mold all over it too. But you know what, Adam?
That was a chromer.
He doesn't like the idea of coming in.
It's just the size of some of these Skookumchuck fish is nice.
Oh, this thing is huge.
Let's go ahead and back him up.
Okay, so he's hooked in the mouth. Not a snag job.
You're kind of worried about him. But you just fought like a log there for a bit.
Yeah.
Alright, this is the big bend hole that everybody talks about. Tail out here is great for drift fishing. Up there is great for float fishing. And odds are when you're here the water will be a lot higher. But it's a great place to catch fish, and it's full of fish right now. So let's see what we can do.
Well, we've come to the end of our day here on the Skookumchuck, and it's been a reasonably good day for fishing. We've each caught fish, and we've lost a couple of fish. Mine was a little moldy, but that's okay. The one I lost on a plug was a really good-looking fish. So, Nate, there's a few more weeks left here on the Skookumchuck, isn't there?
Yep, closes on the 30th, so we can fish until then. There's going to be fresh fish coming in until it closes.
Yeah.
And right now it's full of fish that have been here a while, and there's new fish coming in every day.
Yeah, we've just been watching a ton of fish swim by us today. It's really been pretty frustrating, but pretty cool. If you guys want to learn about the Skookumchuck in more detail, Nate is a fishing instructor and he specializes in taking clients out on these rivers, so he can show you all the spots we visited today. Anything you want to add, Nate?
It's a great river to fish. It's full of fish, so if you want to come now.
Yep, so check out his website. His link is on our site at WashingtonLakes.com, and go get some fish.
Fishing for squirrels there. That's going on the bloopers.
Well, we've come to a
Cut! Cut.
anytime.
You have to say action.
Action.
Action. So it ends up as a bumper for your, that one broke, but as a bumper for your thing. Cool.